What's going on, guys? Nick here, Mr. Millionaire Insight. I'm sorry, I just did that because that's literally how I introduce myself on social media. Yes, welcome to Wednesday Mentoring. I'm going to be covering a few things today because um I've been seeing a lot and I want to go over some things, and I wanted to do some content coverage, but I changed my mind because of the plan that I had initially last week because we didn't do a training last week. I was not feeling well and things like that. I couldn't really get to do what I wanted to do. And we're gonna be doing some content review and things like that so you guys can see how content's supposed to look, how content's supposed to be, and just to help you along with understanding how to create videos that connect with the audience, right? And, you know, I want to take a second in this session to update you guys on a couple of things. So, you guys should know that I'm always testing, right? I'm always testing as, what's new, what's working, what's not working, what I see when I look on social media, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on TikTok, whether it be on Instagram, because you guys know I teach you here how to create content on any platform, right? As it should be. You should be able to create content on any platform whatsoever, right? And it's it's kind of hard for people to grasp at times, and for me it was hard too, right? For me, it was hard to grasp that approaching this content creation game as a student, right? Excuse me, approaching this as a student, and this is why I have the setup that we have here in the Kingdom Digital Academy, because I want you guys to understand that just like I do, you guys should be looking out for things. You notice things, right? You notice things on the For You page, you notice things on the news feed. You should be looking out for these things that could influence your account, could influence your business, because at the end of the day, we're here to make an income. But before you get to the income part, you got to be testing, you got to be honing your craft. You got to be continuing to master and sharpen your message, right? Because that's even when you're making daily sales and you start to make, couple sales, two, three sales, three, four sales, whatever it is, you know, during your work day, it is simply because you have been willing to be meticulous and intentional about honing your message, right? That's why we talk so much about that here. And one of the major things affecting your story is how much exposure you have, right? And to that end, I mentioned something, I think it was yesterday, I posted in the academy, in the school, that TikTok US has been sold, as most of us know. If you didn't know, you know now. So allegedly, Oracle is one of the investors that bought TikTok. And most of us on here, most of us in KDA, we use TikTok to create content on, right? So what does this have to do with, TikTok US? It's the fact that algorithms are no longer what they were. And to break this down, when ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, when they came to a deal, they one of the bigger things that was up for debate in those negotiations was the algorithm, right? I'm going somewhere with this, so kind of ride with me a little bit, right? So one of the major things was, what is the algorithm going to look like if TikTok is sold to a US based company. Right? And we all know about, what happened and, TikTok going dark and the threats of going dark and all that kind of stuff. So they came up with a plan. And obviously, this is something I'm still looking into, right? I'm still looking into to make sure we get solid ground on this stuff. But I want to tell you guys what I see because when it was announced that TikTok US would remain active on US soil, right, and it's not gonna go dark, I immediately sensed a switch, right? But here's the thing: most people didn't. Most people didn't catch the fact that something has changed, right? And I heard a few whispers. I did heard a few whispers of people talking about things would change with the algorithm and things would change with the platform. It would be getting some updates and some new features and things like that. And here's what I was privy to, right? And unofficially, right? Unofficially, I was privy to because y'all know me. I'm always praying about, you know, what's happening and what's going on, and I always seek the voice of the Lord to tell me, what it is I should be doing on a day-to-day basis. What should I be focused on? Keep me up to date to what's going on because I always seek His face because that's how I do life, right? Not just business, but life. And so I started to pay attention and think like a marketer because you've heard if you've been on these trainings, you've heard me say this for a while now. I want you guys to get in the habit of thinking like a marketer, right? And so you start to notice things. Now, I wish I had taken screenshots of this to show you guys, but think back onto the last time you were on your FYP. I was dealing specifically with TikTok, how you would see these mini surveys, when they'll be asking about the live, they'll be asking about maybe you're flipping through and you go past the live and then it'll ask you, do you think this live is appropriate for the platform? You say yes, no, maybe, right? Excuse me. And then you would see something that says, do you think this is too salesy? Do you think this is natural? Right? Do basically asking these open-ended questions to get your opinion. And when I saw that, I started to peep game like it's learning. Whoever's doing this, they're learning. And listen, a year ago, they're still asking questions like that and still asking similar things every now and then, right? Like, once a month or something like that, you would see something like that, or twice a month or something like that. But in recently, like the last couple of months, it's been every day, twice a day, four times a day, five times a day, right? And I started to peep game. The algorithm is collecting data more so than usual, right? The algorithm is collecting data. And I start to think to myself, well, Lord, why would the TikTok algorithm be the original TikTok algorithm be collecting, sorry, so much data, so much data in this season, right? Because the TikTok platform been TikTok since forever and a day, right? When I say forever and a day, I mean like 10 solid years, right? However long TikTok been in existence. I've only been on the platform 3 years, right? And just thinking about why. And then it occurred to me, whenever a new system is introduced, whenever a new program is instituted, right? And it could be in anything, any realm of business, any realm of life. Whenever somebody puts out something new, they want feedback, right? They want feedback. But when you put it into the realm of TikTok, when you put it in the realm of social media, when you put it in the category of interest media, right? The whole goal is they want to get as much information to give users the experience that they like, because you give users an experience they like, they appreciate, they're either educated or they're entertained, you will be able to have a platform that has people coming back by the millions, right? And TikTok had that. ByteDance had that, right? But with this transition of TikTok US being split off, they needed a new algorithm. But they figured, we don't have the original algorithm, allegedly. We don't have the original algorithm, the much sought after algorithm, like I said in the video that I posted in the Academy. So, what is the alternative? The alternative is to program a new algorithm or a new set of algorithms that can be just as prolific, just as detailed, just as efficient as the algorithm owned by ByteDance, right? Owned by TikTok's parent company, right? But now that there's no longer a subsidiary, right? Or it's at least a franchise subsidiary, right? So it's run by a US based company. They want to train the new algorithm. So, what does this mean for us in the academy? For us, it means that we get not a detriment, but an opportunity. We get an opportunity to start over. And I know everybody has been experiencing low views. Listen to me. I've been in this game for 20 years, right? I've been in this content creation game for 20 years plus. Been on TikTok for 3 years. I've been teaching digital franchising for 2.5, almost 3 years, right? And never before have I seen it where consistently, it used to be where you would see consistency like two, 300 views, right? And then you would see the offbeat video that would only get like 100 views or only get 75 views or only get 10 views or whatever it is, because the algorithm couldn't understand or wasn't programmed well enough by us, the user, to tell the algorithm who to send this video to, who to show the video to. That's why keywords are so important. That's why SEO is so important, right? If you don't know what SEO is, I've dealt with that in many trainings in the past. So go to the resources tab and you can go through some of the trainings there so you can see where we did content review and hot seat reviews and stuff like that of people accounts so you can know exactly what to do. But in short, it is the text on screen, the title above your head, the captions from your vocals, and your description. Remember that first line in your description underneath your handle, like mine is Mr. Millionaire Insight, right under your handle is where that description goes. What you say, those first couple of words before that period, that punctuation, whatever it is, that first line is going to be pivotal in telling the algorithm who to show your video to. And I know a lot of coaches, even my own, believes a little less and less in keywords and hashtags. And his official opinion, his official answer is, if you're teaching something, if you're showcasing something, then yes, you need to use keywords, you need to use hashtags and things like that. I will always be a supporter of using keywords. Why? Because you want, when people search for something on Google, right? When people search best ways to make money online, right? On Google, best ways to earn money from home, right? Those things are keywords. things that people are keying in, typing in, right? I will always believe in that because when you do that, you enable the algorithm on TikTok to communicate with the algorithm on Google to say, okay, put my video on one of these pages. Now, excuse me, granted, unless your video has like thousands of views or tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands, millions of views, you're not going to get on that first page, right? Which is why story is important, which is why sharing your journey is important, because that is the great equalizer, right? So to understand that the value of keywords and hashtags, more so keywords, is how you get to program your algorithm, right? It's how you become the hunted in business, right? Using search engine optimization. It is how you create evergreen transformations. What do I mean when I say evergreen transformations? I mean that whether it's 2015 or 2025, a video you created 10 years ago, because it's still adequately programmed, you have the search engine optimization, you have the keywords, you have the appropriate hashtags, right? You're using the text on screen, so you're showing not just the viewer but the algorithms where this video should go, who should see this, right? Whether it's 2015 or 2025, people will still be able to find the video, right? I literally, I want to show you guys this real quick. I want to show you guys this real quick. Give me a second. Um, Let me see here. Da, da, da. Let me share my screen here. I wonder if it'll let me show it. Hope it'll let me show it. Right? Da, da. Be sure sound. All right, let's share. Right? Okay, so let's see here. Where is this? This is live. This is business. I don't want to get out of live center. So let's do this. This is actually a live right here. So let me go back because I want to go to this. And I hope I can. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Oh no. All right, let me go back. Let me go back. Hold on. Da, da, da. All right, let's go to activity, right? And these are my most recent videos. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Um, let's see, Britain, Dominique, uh, this person right here, right? Right here. I'm gonna stop it so it's not. My name is Nick. I'm gonna stop it so it's not playing the audio, right? And let me see. This one was 5 5/12, right? So May 12th, right? Of this year. It is November, right? It is November. And you saw this right here. This comment was 16 hours ago, right? 16 hours ago. She says, "I'm ready to take the next step, but I need one more matter before confirming. Please get in touch." Right? Now you guys already know I don't do DMs, so it's a very drastic exception where I do an actual DM, right? I did, but I just felt led to, but I generally don't do DMs, right? Because I want to keep you guys out of DMs. But what I want you to pay attention to here is the fact that May 12th of 2025, and today is November 19th of 2025, and the comment was 16 hours ago, which means the algorithm put this video, right, in front of this individual. And by the way, just a little tidbit here. I want you to, if you can, zoom in, right here. If you can zoom in, that says 59 minutes and 40 seconds, an hour long video, right? Talk about getting insight, foresight long before this was a thing. And I think most people don't even do this on a regular basis, right? This was one of the first times I did it, right? But it's an hour long video. The majority of my live stream, right? For this one, this is the monetization masterclass that I did, right? By the way, another income stream, right? Now, whether I have that available for you guys is something I have to confirm. So hold tight on that, right? But let's go back to the timing, right? The comment says 16 hours ago. So what does that say? It says that you can have somebody find your video whenever. It is the powerful thing that social media does not turn off. And once you post something to the internet, it really don't ever go away, right? So literally 6 months ago, I can potentially get paid from content that I did way back then because she is interested now, right? So this is why, and if you look at it, right? Digital marketing for beginners, right? Monetization masterclass. See, I teach you guys to have that first line in your description be searchable, something that people are searching for. Do you think people that are just getting started learning the skill set of marketing is going to look up digital marketing? Yes, absolutely. They're going to look up for that. But what is the logical thing for them to do? Right? They're going to look up beginners, digital marketing for beginners. Why? Because they just started, right? This is why this is like this, right? And obviously, I have TikTok live stream highlights, and things like that. So the point I'm trying to make is if you want to say something, like you feel burdened in your heart, you feel passionate about something that you were saying in the video, right? You want to tell the audience something, by all means. But and let me come off of sharing so y'all can see me say this. It doesn't matter if you want to tell the audience something, right? You can, by all means, do so. Matter of fact, put the words real small on the screen and let them know, read the description, right? Or read the caption, because that's another way of saying read the description. When it says read the caption, it doesn't necessarily mean the vocals that you're speaking, that you say as the words pop up, as you say them. It's not always that. When people put read the caption, right? They mean read the description, the words below, right? Below the video. If you want people to read what you said or understand your point of view, that you're trying to do that in your TikTok video, fine. In your description, fine. But make sure, and listen to me, make sure, I'm gonna say it again, make sure that you are putting a searchable keyword in the first line of your description. And you have that keyword in your title above your head, right? So if you're talking about stay-at-home moms, right? Digital marketing for beginners for stay-at-home moms, right? Or digital marketing for stay-at-home moms, digital stay-at-home moms learning digital marketing. As long as you have a searchable keyword in your title, it's going to help you, not just help you get categorized, because if you notice, there are a lot of things, and this is another thing I've noticed, that the very same things we were doing a year ago, 2 years ago, to get categorized, our content categorized, it's not being categorized as often as we would like. And I've said this in the past that what the algorithm, the old algorithm, the ByteDance algorithm used to do is once you post a video and you have your keywords, you have your text on screen, you have your title and all that stuff, right? You have your description in order and stuff you want to say, right? You have searchable terms in there, right? That would be enough. And you would get categorized for, let's say, making money or making money online or digital marketing or, best ways to make money in 2025, right? So when you post the video, it would be, you would get categorized for that, right? So, and you don't see find related content. Right? You'll actually see the words make money online or digital marketing for beginners or whatever it is. You would see that up in that search bar up there, right? But you also would get recategorized because remember, these are machines, right? Yes, there are actual human bodies working at TikTok US. Remember that. And that there always had actual human beings working at TikTok. However, it's predominantly managed by machines, which is why when you get a video that gets taken down or gets removed or whatever it is, you can appeal it because the algorithm took action on your video because the algorithm picked up on a data point that it thinks that it shouldn't be your video shouldn't be on the platform. That's when you appeal it, a human being looks at it and they go, you know what, he or she did not go outside of the community guidelines, so let me go ahead and approve the appeal and your video gets put back up. Happens all the time. So whenever you get a video that's removed or muted or whatever it is, don't panic. Change the sound or whatever it is if they allow you to do that. But the very first thing you do is you appeal it so a human being can review it. With that said, these machines are the ones that are looking out for these things. So what it used to do with ByteDance's algorithm, because it had already been collecting over a decade's worth of data for people and for its users, right? So it's pretty efficient at doing that. What it would do, because an algorithm is designed to do, is to learn, right? So as it learns you as a user, it will continue to reclassify your videos, recategorize your videos. So that's how you would post a video on Monday, and then Monday night or Tuesday morning, you go back there and you don't see the category, right? You don't see the what you got categorized for. So one day you could be categorized for best ways to make money online. The next day you could be just categorized for making money, right? The next day you could be categorized for work at home jobs, right? It depends on what you were saying in the video, what's in the text on your screen, what's in the title above your head, what your captions or your vocals are saying in your captions, right? That's coming out of your mouth, right? The words that are popping up. So it's constantly reading, it's constantly learning, but it's also constantly optimizing because these algorithms, you can't run a platform this large if you don't have machine learning happening. And it's always learning in order to refine, and optimize the platform. And we teach you here to use that to your advantage, right? So here's the main point I'm trying to make. When you with the opportunity we have here, because we work on telling people who we are, what we do, and how it helps them, how we take the four keys, where you were when you found what you found, or bought what you bought, or whatever it is, how life is better now, how things have changed now, right? How you've grown now and moved forward from yesterday now, right? Where you are, what's changed, where you're going, right? What your goals are, what your aim is, whatever it is, and then your opportunity to get people to come with you along the journey by putting the CTA, right? If you want to learn more, put ready in the comments. If you want to learn about what I'm doing, put the hunted in the comments. That's mine, right? So that's the four keys. You use that framework, the four keys training and the four keys series, you use that in order for you to be able to know how to frame the story that you have to tell, your journey, your testimony, right? Your experience. And guys, please don't just think that it has to be something based in your life at home or your life at work. Talk about your life in KDA, right? Talk about what you're learning. There's a reason why almost every mentoring session that I do, I have you guys tell me on wax, on the recording, what is your biggest takeaway, right? What is your biggest takeaway in this training? What is your biggest takeaway in this session, right? And then I tell you guys, what do I tell you guys? Share it in your stories, right? Share it in your stories. And then you can talk about those things and talk about how you're learning, talk about how you're growing, talk about what you knew before, what you didn't know before, and say, hey, well, one of the things that one of the major things I didn't realize when I got into digital marketing was your story matters, right? I thought that I had to leave that stuff out. I thought, why talk about me? I'm just talking about making money, right? Why talk about that? I don't need to talk about me. I don't need to talk about my life. I don't need to talk about the fact that I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I like pizza, I like movies, I like wrestling. I don't need to talk about that. Why am I sitting there with a wrestling belt on a live stream trying to get people to take pictures of a wrestling belt they're never going to hold, right? Why am I doing those things? No, I realize that that's a part of people connecting with me, because when people realize different things about me, they realize that, okay, he likes these things just like me. He goes to these situations just like me. So if he can do it, I can do it, right? And that's the value of sharing your story, right? It is the equalizer between you and everybody else who is saying the same thing. I was literally sharing this on a live stream yesterday on how to stand out, right? Because that's what, listen, guys, at the end of the day, with the opportunity that we have with this new TikTok algorithm, or these new TikTok algorithms for TikTok US, we have the opportunity now to tell the algorithm who we are, what we do, and who it helps. And I know that last one is how it helps people, but you're talking to your viewers, right? But when you're thinking about this as in the realm of programming your algorithm, right? You need to think of it as telling the algorithm who you are, what you do, and who you help. Because when you speak to those people, the algorithm goes, "Oh, okay, she's a midlifer. Okay, he is empty nester. He is a welder. He is a real estate agent. She is a lawyer. She is a doctor. She is um housewife. She is all these different things you could name, right? So the algorithm is going to go, okay, well, let's bring her more single moms because they have a connection, right? And I saw something the other day, I think it was last week, where I saw, and if I could find it, then I'll post it in the academy. But it's literally saying it used the term cross linking. If you're watching this replay, I want you to write this down because cross linking is something that I talked about in 2023. I think summer of 2023, August or September, one of those things, right? Where when we were still on Facebook, I talked about, I didn't know what it was called at the time, but again, this is something that the Holy Spirit dropped into me, and He said, "You need to talk about this." And what cross linking is when somebody sees your video, right? Let's say, Kim, I go on your profile and I engage with your top three videos, top four videos, right? Liking, commenting, saving, and sharing, right? I do the things, all the things, right? For your top four videos, which is what I've been teaching y'all from day one, right? Excuse me. The algorithm not only knows now that I want to see more of Kim's content, or I want to see more of Lloyd's content, or I want to see Tiffany's content, or I want to see whoever's content, they also will know, okay, well, here, this person likes this creator's videos. They appreciate it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if Kim, if Julio, if Liana, right, if they would like Nick's videos. So if I'm a creator, right, obviously this is not for consumers. Cross-linking doesn't really apply to people who are just using the platform, right? People who are consumers, right? It doesn't help people who are just consumers, right? Yes, the algorithm will bring them more of the things they engage in and all that kind of stuff, but it only goes one way. But the minute you start creating posts, and it's not just videos, it's the photo posts, it's the carousels, it's the story posts, it's the live streams, it's all of them. You, as soon as you begin to create content, once you create that second lane where you're not just consuming, but you're also producing, the algorithm is going to bring you videos, bring you accounts, right? Why? Because, like I said, going back to Kim, not picking on you, Kim, but if I engage with four of her videos, four of the top videos, and I do all the things, right? And I'm not buying into the bottom of the trend. Okay, so please don't think that's what I'm doing. Right? That's not what I'm doing. So when you do all the things in the top of her videos on the top of her page, the algorithm's gonna go, okay, Nick likes Kim's videos. Now let me see if Kim would like Nick's videos. And then now TikTok will start to drip in my content into her feed, right? And if she follows me or I follow her, TikTok will drip more content from me to her to see. And it will give Kim a day of 2 days or 3 days to see. And if she engages with my content, you have a successful cross link, right? The algorithm will bring me more of her videos. The algorithm will bring her more of my videos, right? But this happens even before you follow the person, right? You interact with any person's video, 3 or 4 videos, you've already signaled to the algorithm, hey, I want to see more of this, right? Does that make sense? Please understand that it doesn't just stop there, right? Even before you follow the person, you engage with any creator's 4 videos. It really only takes 3, but 4 cements it, right? 4 makes it obvious, right? And they will try, because I've tested it, right? And they will cross link your accounts in terms of sharing content. And here is one thing I want to I've been seeing in the academy, I've been seeing on you guys' account, but I want to reiterate this. The reason why I tell you guys master your message is because I want you guys to understand the fact that you are not telling new messages to new people, right? It's not about saying new things to new people or new things to the same people. Because I listen, I've gotten it here in the academy. I have, right? But I've also gotten it a lot in these social media streets. Well, I don't really know what to say in content, and I feel like I'm saying the same thing, right? I feel like I'm saying the same thing in videos, right? Or in my content. But what we have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's not about saying different things to the same people. It's about saying the same thing because you're going to be put in front of new people. Now, here's the caveat though, right? Here's the caveat. The caveat is this: you are generally taking the same message but talking about it in different ways, right? Let's use something simple, right? Let's use movies, right? I like movies, right? So let's take a Marvel movie. Let's say Captain America, right? Is there only one way to talk about Captain America? He gets the serum. He was really small. He becomes really big, really muscular, really fast, really this, really, and now he becomes this prolific martial artist. He becomes the leader of the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. And you can talk about that. That's the center core premise that Captain America not just went from being a scrawny kid, sickly kid, to being a bigger, stronger, faster being, and being able to be a superhero and fling around a shield that defies the laws of nature and gravity and physics and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's the core premise. But you can also talk about Steve Rogers. You can talk about Steve Rogers' struggle with going from being a weaker man to being a stronger man, going from having very little power, but very well, let's say it like this: having a lot of tenacity, having a lot of bravery. Hence the "we can do this all day" kind of thing, because he used to get beat up a lot, right? So you could talk about that. But that's also related to the core premise that Steve went from being weak and sickly to strong and being the leader of the Avengers. And you could also talk about what kind of leader he wanted to be. He wanted to do what's right because it's right, right? That also talks to his strength. But again, what's the core concept? You're talking about Captain America. You're talking about Steve Rogers going from where he was to what the serum was able to give him, right? And then you could go deeper into understanding what the serum does for people. It takes the person's inherent qualities, their characteristics, who they are as an individual, and amplifies it, right? You could talk about Dr. Erskine, right? Dr. Erskine told Steve Rogers that he is he's a perfect candidate for the serum because he is a good man, and the importance of being a good man. The importance of being a good man would drive him to become a better leader of the Avengers, right? To be a better superhero, right? You see how many areas we can talk about Captain America? And listen, because I've spent enough time with the character, when I say spend time, like watching the movies, I barely read the comics. Let's be honest. I barely read the comics, but seeing the movies, understanding the lore, and things like that, you know how to talk about Captain America and all from all these different vantage points, right? You could talk about Peggy Carter. You could talk about his relationship with Nick Fury. You could talk about his relationship with Tony Stark, going from being very, very friendly to very, very volatile because they actually fought each other in Civil War, to going back to being friends now
when they fought Thanos in the Infinity Saga, right? But how do I know all these things? Is because I took the time to get to know the material. If I didn't know the material, I wouldn't know what to talk about. I wouldn't know all the different ways I could talk about Captain America, right? And more importantly, I could talk about what understanding the lore of Captain America, the story, the backstory of Steve Rogers helped me to understand. I could relate it to me as somebody who is disabled, who always felt counted out, who always felt like they weren't enough, right? I didn't need serum to feel like that, but because of my relationship with Jesus Christ, I could comparatively look at it as Steve Rogers had a serum, but I have the Holy Spirit. I have Jesus Christ. And because I was weak, God is strong. And because God is strong, He empowers me to be a better leader, like I lead you guys here in the Kingdom Digital Academy, how I've led people all across the globe, how I've led people in DGC, how I've led people that work with Justin, how I've led people all over this digital world, right? But again, it reminds me of a biblical scripture, right? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? It simply means whatever you put in is what you're going to get out, right? If you don't have anything in there, if you're not working on your story, if you're not working on what your story is, because some of us don't even know what our story is. We don't even know how the four keys fits us. But again, if you show up here, if you show up here in the academy and take the time to say, you know what? Because I really want to make this work, because I really want to build a business, because I really want to make a difference in people's lives, because again, it's connection, it's impact, it's purpose, right? And those are the things that will produce the byproduct of money, income, right? Because people won't spend money with you until they know, like, and find common ground with you so they can trust you, right? To pay you for the thing that it is you are offering to them, the transformation you are offering to them. But if you never get a transformation, if you never understand what your message is, if you never understand what your purpose for finding this is, all this will be is a shiny opportunity. But then you sometimes get tired of the shine. And it's like, yeah, it's cool. Digital marketing is the most valuable skill set in human history. And, I know Nick says that, and, it's going to be $1 trillion a day industry, and, stuff like that. But really and truly, I haven't made any money, right? I've been in this business for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and I haven't had my first client yet. But I know it's the most valuable skill set in human history. No. How are you allowing this, what you're learning here, right? What you're learning here, not just everywhere else, but here, because here we don't work on products and services. Yes, we talked a lot about the algorithm today. We talked a lot about content today. We talked about SEO today. We talked about how to get found, how to become the hunted in business, right? How to become the hunted in social media. So you don't have to get in DMs. You don't have to make phone calls. You don't have to send endless emails outside of your automations, right? You don't have to do that. You can become the hunted, where people find you and ask you how you can help them. Yes, we talked about those things, but at the end of the day, it always has, and it always is, and it will always be about you. And if you don't know what your message is, if you don't know what your purpose is, if you don't know what your motivation is, because it's not just motivation to say, I'm going to hype you up and make you feel good and make you feel, like you're ready to go take on the globe and stuff like that. No, knowing what your purpose is, knowing what your message is, knowing what your goal for impact is, for purpose is, that will create discipline. Discipline will always outlast motivation. One of the things that I realized real early is that motivation is just a spark. Consistency in doing the right things long enough, that is what fans the flames. It's not enough to be consistent by itself, because you can consistently do the wrong things, right? Let's say we're playing ball and your net is on the right side of the court if you're standing in the middle, right? But you've been draining three pointers on the left net. Are you gonna win the game? No. So yeah, you spend hours of practicing. Yeah, you got a killer shot, but you're shooting in the wrong net. You playing for the wrong team, right? You could constantly and consistently do the wrong things consistently. But this is why you have mentorship. And I'm telling you guys, what you have here is not just these group sessions on Wednesdays, right? But you have access to one on ones where it's me, you, and your business. And yes, I get that there will come a time when that, it's just too much. Like, I only have 24 hours in a day. I'm not just a coach. I'm not just a mentor. I'm a husband. I'm a father, right? I'm somebody that's being dependent on in several different areas outside of what I do here in business, right? So as we get it, and as we grow as an academy, there will be less and less one-on-one sessions unless it's scheduled. I will be less available to you guys on a one-on-one basis, right? It's not to say that it will go away. My one-on-ones would never go away, but the scheduling may have to change up a bit. But while you have me here, while we are where we are at the moment, at the time of this recording, take advantage. Take advantage of the one-on-one times. There are 3 sessions open every day for one-on-ones. Well, not every day, Monday through Friday, right? Monday through Friday, I open up sessions on from anytime after 12 to 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern is the last one-on-one because we go 3 to 4, right? So 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 3 to 4, right? Monday through Friday, right? And if it has to change because of scheduling or whatever it is, then it has to change, right? You guys get access to that in the 6-week boot camp, right? But how many of you are taking advantage of it, right? There are communities out there that they're free to be a part of. And then once you're inside, just like in KDA, you can purchase things and buy things once you're inside. But they only do group mentorings, right? I know specifically Michelle in the digital growth community, she does not do one-on-ones. She said it out her mouth. She does not do one-on-ones, right? Right, as of this recording, I am not charging people, right? At the time of this recording, I'm not charging people for one-on-ones as long as they're a student enrolled in the Kingdom Digital Academy, right? If you are enrolled in the Kingdom Digital Academy, you're not paying extra for one-on-ones, right? You guys may be on a monthly plan, you may be on the standard, you may be on the premium, you may be on the VIP, whatever it is, but you're not paying additional for my one-on-one time, right? All you're doing is you're paying for your learning path, and you may be paying for a tier, right? That's what it is. Outside of that, you're not paying extra for one-on-ones because of all the things you guys have here. The goal here, the simple goal here, is to help you find your God given purpose, master your message, learn how to deliver that message so you can program these algorithms on social media so they can go get you the people that you can help with the resources you have here, or you have in your business, or you have in another community, whatever it is. But if you are here under the sound of my voice, if you are a student in the Kingdom Digital Academy, you have resources here to fine tune what it is you say, to fine tune what it is you put out into social media, to fine tune your approach to this industry so you can become the hunted. Because I still see people, guys, I know I told you guys that on the off chance I will send a DM, right? Do you know how many DMs I sent in 2024? 20 DMs in all of 2024. And I'm on social media every day. Every day. And I mean DMs like somebody expresses interest in purchasing and they ask me to DM them and I chose to DM them and they became a student, right? 20. But you guys are telling people to DM you. Stop telling people to DM you because it's fine now, right? I'm not trying to be mean to you, but it's fine now because you don't have a whole lot of traffic going on. But when you have a viral video and you got 50 DMs and it's taking you a couple hours, some of you guys know and experience what that does to have viral videos and have like 50 to 70 to 150 DMs to get back to because people are reaching out to you here, there, and everywhere, and you don't have time. Stop telling people to DM you. You have automations for a reason to give you your time so that you don't have to spend time in direct messages all day. Stop. I'm officially saying it. Stop telling people to DM you. Stop. Because of the fact that you're setting yourself up for failure. As you see, as you saw when I shared with you guys earlier about that video back in May, somebody came back 6 months later to ask for information, right? And because I don't DM people on a regular basis, I tell people the opposite. I don't DM you. I will tell people on a live stream, I will never DM you first. Why? Because when you start, and here's where this connects. You keep telling people you're gonna DM them or DM me for information. Here's what that'll do. Once you start doing live streams on a regular and your live streams start to pick up and they start to see your videos and your videos tell them to DM you, when you're live, it's cool because you're on live and you can see, okay, you were live here, they were live, so they know it's you. So they for sure know that it's you. But what about when the live stream ends? Right? When you start getting viral videos, when your visibility starts growing and you start hitting the For You page a lot sooner, a lot more frequently, there are going to be, listen to me and listen to me closely, there are going to be fake accounts of you. Some of y'all got it now when you barely did anything because they know people can see, okay, well, this guy has the look, this girl has that vibe, she has that high energy, so she's gonna attract people. Duplicate, and they duplicate your account. You're not live, so the person who's never met you before, barely knows you, they just see your picture and they see your name, and because they change a letter, they added a letter, it's usually an L or an I or an extra N, something that the brain won't immediately pick up. because it's that, because the person is not focused on the name, and the three eyes in Kip, or not the three eyes in Kip, the three E's in wealthy for Kim's profile. They're just looking at the picture, and they're just looking at what looks like your handle, and they message them. But they message them and they go, oh well, I've been creating content on TikTok, but I'm getting into WhatsApp and Telegram now. So I'm gonna give you this link, and you can click on this link and come to Telegram. You know you're not on Telegram, but the person is reaching out to you to ask you a question, or to ask you about what you're doing, or to ask you about getting started. They got a credit card, a debit card in hand, or they're ready to get on a payment plan, and they get there and they're like, oh, they went to Telegram because a doppelganger got to them because you told them to DM you. This is why anybody that's built anything, any kind of foundation to stand on, we immediately tell the populace on social media, we will never DM you first. Look up how many fake accounts there are of Michelle. Heck, look up how many fake accounts there are of me. Now, to be real, I have 4 accounts, right? I have 4 separate channels on TikTok. But outside of those, there are 50 or 60. And before I even created those 4 alternate channels, there are 50 to 60 of them, right? So you have to protect your business. You have to protect the integrity of your business, because here's the thing. I've literally watched on Justin's live stream where I was on there one night, and it was like after 10, like almost 11. And some guy came on there and he was like, Justin, how could you do this? I need an explanation. And Justin's like, do I know you? And he was like, yeah, you should know me. I just gave you $300. I just gave you $300. And he was like, what are you talking about? Right? Or not $300. I think it was like 375, right? $375. And he was like, bro, I don't have nothing, no product. I don't have no product for $375, first of all. Second of all, I don't know you. Third of all, where'd you come from? And the guy was like, well, I know you create videos and things like that. So I figured when I saw you live, I would come and ask you. But somebody messaged me and they were like, yeah, da 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 da. And I told them I wanted to get started. I'm ready to do this thing. And they took me to this place and they sent me a link, and I paid them, and they took my money and I didn't hear from them. So when I saw you live, I figured I'd come get my money back. And Justin felt terrible. Justin felt terrible. And he was like, you know what? I feel so bad, man. Like, seriously, I'm sorry that happened to you. And because of the type of individual that he is, he said, you know what, man? That wasn't me. That's definitely not me, because I have nothing that's $375. But I will go ahead and send you back, send you money. I'm going to send you what that person took from you. And it's a good thing he was doing decently in his business so he can afford to send these people back their money. But the moral of the story is, you are here to redeem your time. You are here to get a 2 to 3 hour day. Your time should not be spent. The lion's share of your time should not be spent in direct messages. If you want to go back and forth talking to people, do it in your comments, right? Do it in your comments. And when I say do it in your comments, don't be putting out all the information in your comments, right? When you're responding to people, all you should be talking about is just lead magnet style answers in order to get them to your automation system. Have them email you. If there are questions about pricing, if there are questions about the business model, if there are questions, questions about the automation system. Don't be putting emptying out your business in the comment section. But if they ask a question, respond to it. If they ask a question, respond to it, but get them to go back to your automation system. Have them email you. Say, listen, I would love to answer all your questions and all your questions in detail, but just to protect you, get on my email list because that way you know that you're sure you're talking to me. And if you can do that by hitting that red circle instead of typing a comment, TikTok will allow you to tap that red circle and create a video. Listen, do it and direct them to your automations. Go to the top of my page and tap on where you see Kingdom Digital Academy, or tap on where you see the 2 Hour Freedom Blueprint, or tap on where you see Living on Vacay with Julio, or Digital Wealth, right? That's what you do. You tell them, direct them back to the automations. So when they get the email and they reply to you, then you can have a detailed conversation with them. Or heck, I've done this too. When they email you and they reply with a question or a concern, say, listen, I'm going to make you a video. And open up your phone, record your response, upload it to YouTube, or if you want to, create it directly from YouTube. Go on YouTube, hit the plus sign, record your response, and then before you post the video, you're not posting it, you're making it unlisted so it doesn't go to public, right? So everybody's not seeing it, right? So you unlist it, and when you put that, you put the title of you put their question in the title, and they put their name up there so they feel special and all warm and fuzzy when they see it, and you put that in the email in the response to their question. That way they see the care that you have for them. They see how much you value them, right? My mama always told me it's not just about showing people how much you know, but showing people how much you care. So giving them a video response always goes over a little bit better. You're going the extra mile, right? So, again, the moral of the story is please stop telling people to direct message you. That's why you have CTAs. The reason that you are putting CTAs in your content is so people have something to put in your comment section. They need to be able to be putting the goal is to start conversations in your comment section, right? 9 times out of 10, I have a CTA in my content, whether I'm speaking it vocally or whether it's written on the screen. Even if I'm doing a motivational post, right? Like I did one where the difference between me and you, right? The difference between me and you is you stayed down and I get back up. I chose to get back up. And I didn't put drop 100 in my vocals, but I had it on the screen because I want them to drop 100 in my comments because every comment will signal the algorithm to say that this video is valuable because people are connecting with it. People are talking about it. People are leaving things in the comment section. So please remember your CTAs. Please remember your text on screen, as in your title above your head, the captions out your mouth, because your title above your head gets the viewer to know what you are going to be talking about, and it inputs that seed in their mind as into what you are about, who you are, what you do is that title, what you're talking about, what's the transformation you're talking about. That is why you put a title over your head, right? And then once you put the title over your head, make sure you have your captions. And listen, you can see if you go back to the content, the video setup, the content training, right? In the 6 week boot camp, when I show you how to create a video, I'm always telling you, watch your placement of your captions, watch your placement of your title, because you want it to be visible on TikTok. When you go to post a video, when you're done with your description, you're done adding your links or whatever it is, when you're attaching your link for TikTok shoppable videos or whatever it is, there is a preview where you see the little picture of you from the video up there. You got to click on that so you can see what they will see once the video is posted. Use the preview, because I see way too many videos. I see way too many videos where I can't read. I can't read what you wrote. I can't read because it's either way too far down or way too far to the side or way too far up here, and I can't read it. And if I can't read it, the potential customer can't read it, right? You got to understand, you may know what you wanted to put there. And I had to learn that lesson when I started creating content on TikTok, especially learning where your text placement should be. If you look, when you create the video, when you add text, when you're moving it up and down the screen, you see a little hologram that shows you where everything's going to be. The circles on the right hand side and your handle and stuff like that on the bottom of the screen. So use them. This is the way how the platform is helping you, because you know what you want to write, you know what you're trying to say, but you can't assume that the person can read it. And you got to make sure and be meticulous about that. Don't and listen, I was guilty of this in the beginning too, right? I got kids. I have a business to run. I have expectations in the home. I got homeschool going on, right? You got stuff to do. You can't spend all day creating content. So you figure you want to shoot from the hip real quick. You put something together, you put all things together real quick, and you put it out there. But guys, be intentional. Stop treating this thing like a hobby. If you treat it like a hobby, you will get hobby money. But if you treat it like a business, you will get business owner money, bill paying money, life changing money. Why? Because you are intentional about the body of work that you're putting out. And yeah, it might take you an extra 30 seconds or an extra couple of minutes or whatever just to make sure, but you know that what you put out there is going to be what the customer can benefit from, and they can read it. And listen, guys, if you're putting text on the screen, and I've gone over this in the content training where I teach you how to create a video, use the outlines, use the outline features. Don't put white lettering on a light screen and expect people to read it. No, the algorithm can read it, but the human eye won't catch that. And I see that happening in people's content, right? Use the outlines. Make sure, pretend that you are the customer you're trying to get. Are you able to read? Assume you don't know. Just assume you don't know. Pretend you don't know what it is you were trying to say. Pretend you weren't the one just creating the video, and look and see, am I able to see this? Am I able to clearly understand what's being said or what's being highlighted on the screen? Right? So, anyways, guys, we're just about 2:30 here, so I wanted to go over just a few things before we get out of here. But guys, again, the tier system is still in place. We've officially launched that, and it's been launched for about 2 weeks now. The standard, the premium, and the VIP membership. As I've said before, if you are Whatever arrangement we had before the tiers have been implemented, you will remain at that, right? Everybody's been grandfathered into the standard tier. If you were wherever you were, you've been grandfathered into the standard tier. Everyone will have access to what's in the standard tier, even though you may or may not be paying the $59 a month, right? But if you want access to things like the Science of Online Marketing Volume 1, that's in the premium tier. So you can upgrade to the premium tier anytime you want to. It's optional. You can stay at the standard if you want to, right? Always remember, you don't have to upgrade, right? You don't have to upgrade to the premium tier or VIP tier. But if you see things in those tiers that you want to, you can upgrade. But the best part about it is, my friends, is that you guys get paid for getting enrolled students enrolled here. If you refer people and they get enrolled here, and listen, this is not network marketing, right? Where I'm your upline. I'm not your upline. I'm the creator of the Kingdom Digital Academy. You get a referral fee from the school platform for referring people to KDA, right? You get 40%, right? For people that enroll. And when the person you enroll chooses a tier, right? Everybody gets a 7-day free trial, regardless of the tier that they start with, right? They get 7 days free. And once they start paying, once the trial ends, you're gonna get monthly income. Right? God, like I don't know. I don't know how else to impress upon you guys how much you have here. Y'all want lead magnets? The starter. Everybody should have access to the standard, right? There are PDFs in the resources in the classroom that you guys can get access to. If you don't know where the PDFs are, you can let me know. Hey Nick, where are those PDFs that you were talking about the 50 hooks? Because everybody needs hooks, right? Everybody might not be able to come up with hooks like you can, or come up with hooks like I can. But if they need a little extra help, you have a lead magnet that you can use, right? The four keys to creating relatable content PDF. That's for sale, right? You guys can get that for $30. $30 and you get a lead magnet, right? $30 and you get a lead magnet. The previous PDFs that I mentioned, those are free. I'm not charging you anything else. If you're already here, you got that. But the four keys PDF, you could get that for $29.95. I'm charging people $60. Hello. Sorry, y'all. What was I saying? Oh yeah. The PDFs in the starter with the 50 hooks and the other ones, those are free lead magnets you could use, right? And you could use that and say, hey, if you get on my email list today, or when you put ready in the comments, and oh, just to let you know, people that get on my email list, they'll get 50 hooks that you don't even have to think of what to say. We're giving you the hooks for the first 3 seconds of your video, right? And when you give away something for free, people stand a better chance of going to your email list. Why? Because they're getting something for something they're giving you and trusting you with, right? But things like the four keys to creating relatable content, right? That PDF, yeah, $29.95, but you could turn around and literally you're giving people something that they can learn how to start mastering their message. They're still going to need KDA because they're still going to need to understand how and why to master their message, why and what they can do in their specific situation to be able to bring them income so they can learn how to create digital products of their own. So they're still going to need you in KDA. They're still going to enroll in KDA because they realize if they're giving you this much value, if you're giving them this much value and they're able to get that to be able to know how to say whatever they need to say in their content. What else you got? Right? That's one thing that Justin told me very early. It's like you give so much in your free content that people wonder what's behind the paywall. What do you have that if you paid for it, what are you going to get? If you're giving away so much value up front for free, so then what other value do you must have some crazy value behind that price tag, right? And again, in the classroom, there are things that the tiers are affiliated, right? The tiers, you can be affiliates for those. So you have 3 additional income streams. We had 10 before. Now we have 3 more. That's 13 income streams. It's what I call the I know a dude income stream. You didn't design it, you didn't create it, you don't maintain it. I do. But you get 13 income streams here. Plus you get the classroom. Plus you get the 6-week boot camp. Plus you get the one-on-one and group mentorings, right? Plus you get the replays. All of these things are stuff you can, yeah, you can talk about all those things and list out all those things, but I challenge you to talk about how you're benefiting from those things. How are you benefiting from the one-on-one sessions? How are you benefiting from the group sessions? How are you benefiting from having access to the 6-week boot camp? How are you um, 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 getting benefiting from having an automated email system that you got in KDA, right? That you have access to in KDA. It's still here, right? So please, guys, take advantage of what you have here. And there's so much more coming. Guys, you realize that before we didn't have done for you franchises in here. The digital starter, the accelerator, the power builder, and the codex, they weren't gonna be franchises. But with the addition of these tiers, I decided 2 weeks ago to let those be franchises because so many of you say, well, I can't get behind this thing. I can't get behind this product, or I can't get behind this community because it's not really aligned with my beliefs. I wish I had something I could promote. I heard you, and God heard you, and He put it on my heart to have those 4 things: the digital starter, the accelerator, the power builder, and the marketing codex be affiliates that you guys can actually benefit from. But more so than that, give you the option once you purchase whatever. If you purchase the starter, you purchase the accelerator, you purchase the power builder, or you purchase the codex. Like if you purchase the digital power builder, you'll be able to franchise you'll be able to franchise the digital accelerator and the digital starter. So $159 and $597 and $997 is what you can promote as franchises. If you purchase the codex, you can promote all 4, right? Those are 4 franchises, right? That's now 7 things, including the 3 tiers inside KDA that you get to do. 7 things out the gate. 7 things out the gate. Total 13 different things that you have access to as student only income streams. And I did an entire training on student only income streams. All you got to do is go in the community and look up student only income streams, and you'll be able to see the replay. Go watch it, right? Because there's so much here for you guys, right? I pour my heart into this. I pour my mind into this. I pour my skill set, my talent, my God-given gifts into this academy because this is my life's work. This is what I love doing, right? This is my purpose. So please take advantage of what you have here. All right? So, guys, that is my time. It's officially 2:36. If you have questions about anything I've talked about today, please be sure to get in the community on the community feed under the post that I posted about today's training and leave your comment, or you can DM me inside of school, inside the academy, and let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your questions are, right? Oh, by the way, to the whole doppelganger thing on TikTok, guys, please, if anybody messages you on TikTok and you're not sure, you have another way to reach out to me. Some of y'all have my direct line. Reach out to me and ask me if it's really me. I would hate for somebody to get caught up with some scammer or something, right? Some of y'all have my number. Reach out to me. Some of y'all have my well, not some. All of y'all have access to me inside KDA. Message me first and find out. Hey Nick, is this one of yours? Right? Before you block the account, before you report the account, go ahead and reach out to me and ask. Right? Even if it has to be 24 hours that you don't hear from me, a couple hours before you hear from me, before you report it, because I don't want to get my actual accounts reported. But if you're not sure, reach out to me and ask. All right? I would prefer you have a conversation with me in here than anywhere else. All right? So, guys, I love y'all, and I will see y'all next Wednesday. I will have this uploaded as soon as I can, and I will put it in the community feed, and it will be in the resources module so you guys can get that. Today's topic was the new TikTok US algorithm update. All right. So make sure you go back and watch. And guys, don't just watch it for today. These are here, these trainings are here for you guys to always go back through, right? This is what you guys are paying for, right? You have access to these, so go ahead and go back through these trainings. Don't just go through it once. If you're not sure about something, you got some downtime, you bored, go back through the trainings. I do, because listen, contrary to popular belief, I'm not just the leader of KDA. I'm not just the creator of KDA. I'm also a student, right? So I would go back and I would listen to the science of online marketing. I would go back and listening to these Wednesday mentorings because the Holy Spirit probably said something that I needed to remember. So I would go back through and I would watch these again and again, because repetition is the mother of learning. And the more you internalize these things, the more it will become natural to you, the more confident you will get, and the more versed you will be on social media. All right. So thank you guys. I will have this uploaded for you guys very shortly. Make sure and pay attention. Spend 10 minutes in the academy every day. Every day. 10 minutes is all I ask. If you do more than that and you watch the Wednesday mentor replay, or you watch one of the other training replays, that's all. But every student should be spending at least 10 minutes a day engaging in this community every day. Every day. Right? And if you're not doing that, it's okay, because sometimes I forget about it too. I don't get a chance to do it too. But please make it a point, because this is how you learn. This is how you grow. All right. So, anyways, guys, I love y'all. And I will see you guys in the next mentoring session. All right. Take care of yourself, guys.